If you're like me and all you have is an old car and you wish you had some of the features that the new cars have, I may have the perfect product for you. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. So if you listened to the beginning of this video, you heard me talk about having an old car that doesn't have all of the features of the brand new cars. So in today's video, I'm gonna do just an unboxing of this product. I know I've actually said a couple times already that I'm gonna put it in a car, we're gonna test it out, but quick news flash, you guys already know this, but this video is quite long already, and I'm not gonna have a chance to go through all of the features and do an unboxing and still put it in a car. It's gonna just be way too long of a video. So we're gonna have a second video that will come out with a actual hands-on review of the product that we're going to be unboxing and reviewing today. Now, if you're like me, you've got an older car and it doesn't have a lot of the new features, a lot of the features that some of these new cars have. Now on this channel, I have reviewed new cars, like brand new cars, and reviewed some of the new features that are in those new cars. Most importantly, the ability to have lane control, self-adaptive cruise control, and even the lane assistance, where the car will actually help drive for you to keep you in those lanes. Now those are some really cool features, but it comes with a hefty price tag. See, most cars these days that have those features at least are going to cost you at least 50,000 Canadian dollars. Now they'll go up from there to $120,000. Some of the more expensive cars, some of the electric ones like the Mustang Mach-E that we test drove, it has almost full self-driving mode on it, and you know, we might be getting pretty close to having a proper full self-driving mode. But for those of you like me, where I'll tell you my fleet, I have a 2008 Mercedes, which we've done reviews on that car. I told you the long-term effects of driving a Mercedes for a long time. We've had that for 4 years, almost 5 years now, and it's still my wife's daily driver, but it's missing a lot of those features. My Avalanche is 2007, my Mustang is 2010. They're all old, archaic vehicles as far as like vehicle features go. That's where a product like this might help you out. Now, this, if you can read, says, what does it say? Mirror dash camera, but it is so much more than that. So the folks over at Pelsi sent me a message and said, Anton, we think that your viewers would love to see some of the features that our camera has, and we would like you to review it and give your honest opinions. So I have no obligation to say nice things about this product, but full disclosure, this was sent to me by the company. I did not pay anything for this, so someone may feel like I'm inclined to say nice things because I got a free dash cam out of it. But I will give you my very honest opinion. I will talk about the good and I will talk about the bad. So in here we have this guy. This is just your standard power adapter. The cool thing about this adapter, and I'll show it to you here, is, I don't know what to do with all this plastic. So you plug this in, it's got a very long cord. This is probably about 10 feet long, so you can wrap your cord around and make it nice in the vehicle. But normally this is gonna plug up and take one of your 12 volt accessory sockets on your car, but they include a USB pass-through. So if you want to use it as a cell phone charger, for example, you could still plug your cell phone charger cable in there and then charge your cell phone while you're still powering this dash cam. So that's really cool. The cable is plenty long enough to get it anywhere you need it to go. It has a 32 gigabyte memory card in there, micro USB. It's got a little pry tool, which would come in handy. I think I need this to help fish this wire through like some of the plastic in the car. I'm assuming that's what that's for. I have no idea what this is for. Oh, I know what this is for. These are gonna be to lock it onto the rear view mirror. It does have a couple screws and some 3M tape as well. It has a cleaning cloth. When they asked me if I wanted to look at this, I had never seen this before. I had never even considered something like this before. So I looked up on Amazon. It's like 160 Canadian dollars on Amazon. I will put a link in the description. If you want to get one, you can buy it from there as well. I wouldn't normally look at a camera that's that expensive simply because I'm just too cheap. So I would consider this a premium dash cam. That's what I would consider this as far as what it's saying that it can do. Let's get through the rest of what's in this box and I'll tell you why I say that. So it comes with a user manual and thank you for choosing card. This is, if you can read that on there, GPS. This comes with a GPS receiver, so this will plug into here, and it has full GPS mapping overlay. Now, I will say that it only records the GPS coordinates onto the memory card. It's not like you can remotely dial in to see where the GPS location of this vehicle is. It is not a tracking device, but it is a history device, a histogram, if you will, because an important feature of pretty much any dash cam is the ability to record location, especially in the event of an accident. That's causing a very big rise in popularity of dash cams, especially who doesn't love watching a YouTube video of all of those dash cam fails, right? So you could get something like this and then you could become potentially one of those people uploading your super exciting dash cams. So GPS to track your location and overlays and all that. And then the last bag in here is this guy, which this is also actually very exciting for me. Okay, it comes with another sticky pad and screw, and it comes with this. Now this, as you can tell, is a secondary camera. So this camera system is more than just a front-facing camera. It has this trigger wire, which can be used for a backup camera, and I'll show you why that's important. Okay, so there, and then it's got this. I'm gonna try and save this. There's nothing more exciting than peeling that off. Now this is, okay, I'm a vain individual. This is a mirror, for lack of a better term. So now that I hold this like this, you can see everything that you guys are filming back there. But it also is a full-size LCD screen. So when you're using the camera features, you can actually turn this on. It has a night vision camera mode, for example. So this little camera right here looks out your front windshield, and then it'll go into night vision mode, and it will see things on the road that you can't see when you're driving at night. And you can have that turned on. You've got different buttons to adjust the overlay. On the top here, it has a USB-C plug, that's for power. It has the AV in, so that's what our backup camera would connect to. It has the memory card slot, and it has the GPS port. So those are all across the top, which is handy because when you mount that on your rear view mirror, all of those wires will go out the top rather than out the bottom or out the side. This is a very, very clean setup. So I do have a USB-C power cord here. I'm gonna power this up right here in the studio so we can all see what it looks like when it powers on. So I'm gonna plug that in. We'll peel this back off. Whoa. Okay, I stuck the micro SD card in, and now it says, please format SD card or the video can't be recorded. So I'm gonna say yes. And then it's formatting. You can see over here, it's saying that it's going northeast at 0 kilometers an hour. This is a very sensitive screen, I gotta say that. Now, it's freaking out because I don't have a GPS. What happens if I plug this in? So it is currently recording. I have a full menu that I can pull up. So when you push that, it's telling you what the voice control commands are. Now, I'm gonna peel off the back camera lens because that's gonna cause you guys a little bit of grief now. So you can see behind me. Now I'm gonna go over to this side so that we can all see it together. So there you can see the gears in Tech Studio. The refresh rate's pretty good. Now, they say that this is a 4K and 1080p resolution. I'm in a basement. If you can't tell, I'm in a deep, dark, dungy, gringy little basement. And if you wanna help me out, while we're waiting for this to format, oh, it's recording. Subscribe to the channel because If you subscribe to the channel and you watch these videos and you like these videos, I could probably upgrade this studio to something a little bit more nice. So there's so many features on this camera. I don't want to miss any. So I've pulled up the actual ad for this P10 Pro camera, and I'm going to just list out those features for you right now so that we all know what kind of features this thing has. Advanced Driver Assistance System. They're calling it ADAS, and it assists drivers in driving and parking functions and increases car and road safety through voice alerts, including 5 alerts: forward collision, pedestrian collision, lane departure, headway monitoring, and forward movement. That's a lot. So a lot of those features are what you get on those new cars. So for less than $200, you can get a camera that gives you those features, or you can buy a $100,000 car and get those features. I mean, it's a pretty easy choice to make. Intelligent BSD algorithm with the blind spot detection. That's what BSD is, obviously. The rear view mirror camera can monitor the dangerous blind spots area and avoid hazardous situations. Sensors monitor the road area behind and next to your own vehicle and warn you. It is equipped with a 4K UHD front camera and HDR technology. You will get the clear and vivid pictures of everything happening on the road. So they say it's a 4K sensor. And I hope that's true. So a lot of dash cams, they will say 4K, but if you're lucky, they're a 1080 sensor, and then they just upscale it to be 4K. So that's how it's difficult to decide if the camera is really as good as they say. If it's true 4K, that's good, because you'll have the level of detail that you need to actually use the footage for something if you were in an accident or something like that. Some of these other cameras, they're good for just seeing, well, there's a car, but you're not gonna read like license plates on it, for example. So when we do the product test, we will check, you know, kind of that stuff out. And then it also has a built-in G sensor, which is important. Most dash cams have that, but what it does is detect an accident or a collision or a sudden stop is what it's looking for. When it detects a sudden stop, normally this will record on a loop. So that 32 gig memory card will record. When it gets full, it will start overwriting the footage from the beginning and just keep going over it and going over it. 32 gigs, it should be able to record about an hour or 2 of 4K footage on that 32 gig card. And then if there was an accident, you would always have at least an hour of footage leading up to that accident. Plus, it will automatically hold or put a freeze on that footage so that it can continue recording after the accident, and it will save that footage outside of that loop, so that you can continue to loop record while you keep all that accident information safe so that you can review it for later. So if you were in like a rollover or something, and for whatever reason, you were unconscious and you couldn't think to go and stop recording, you don't need to. This will stop recording for you. So it takes all of the user error out and makes it as easy to use as possible. Now that's more or less the features at a glance. I'm just playing with the UI here. And if I go like this, I can pull up the home menu. So now it's giving me all kinds of options. I can do File Explorer, Camera, and Setting. So I can go to System Settings, Stream Media Switch, Volume Setting. I can turn the volume up, Startup Sound, Key Tone, Auto Power Off, Closed, Screen Sleep Closed, Speed Units. You can pick between kilometers an hour or miles per hour. Time zone, so I'm going to tell it that the time zone is GMT -7, because that's where I am. Voice control is currently on. Satellite information, let's see if it found a satellite. Oh, it did. Okay, so I've found 2 satellites with the GPS sensor, which is wonderful. Now it should pull the date and time off of the GPS, so I'm not going to set that right now just because I really don't want to. Now you have a couple options for camera settings. You can do the 4K for the front facing and 1080 for the rear, or you can do 2.5K for the front and 1080 for the rear, or you can do 1080 front and 1080 rear. Now some of you might ask, well, why would I want to lower the resolution for the front camera? That's mostly if you have a really small memory card and you want to get the longest possible recording time. So if you have a big enough card, you really want to keep that on 4K. You also have the option for your loop record. So my options are, I don't know if you can see that, 1 or 2 or 3 minutes. Now, what that means is that you can't actually have a continuous file running. Most file systems work with actual physical files. So when you set the loop record length, the video will be, it'll record a 1 minute video, and then another 1 minute video, and then another 1 minute video, and then another 1 minute video, if you've set it to 1 minute. And then after the memory card is full, then it'll go and start recording a new 1 minute video over top of the very oldest 1 minute video, and then a 1 minute video over the next oldest, and a 1 minute video over the next oldest, and it'll do that. Let's pretend on a 32 gigabyte memory card, you get 32 slots, if you will, of 1 minute video. So you'll have 32 videos, and then when you get full, then it'll go back and just start going over those other videos. If you set it to 2 minutes, you would only get 16 slots for video. If you set it to 3 minutes per chunk of video, you would end up with 10 or 11 slots for video. So now you can imagine where the problem comes in and what you have to decide what's best for you. If you're trying to review the video footage, it gets very annoying trying to watch 1 minute videos, and then you're like, no, it wasn't in that 1 minute. And then maybe it was this 1 minute. Well, maybe it was that 1 minute or that 1 minute. You got 32 of them to pick from. Whereas if you had it in 3 minute videos, you can watch a 3 minute video and you're like, yeah, no, it was like 10 minutes later. So you know you only go ahead 3 videos and then you'll be able to find your video. So it's kind of a convenience thing. For me, I actually set it to the longest video size, and that's mostly because I'm actually going to use this partially to help me with my car reviews, and anytime I'm filming inside my car so that I can get some kind of outside footage of stuff. And I'm going to be using that. I've got an ice drifting video that's going to be coming out. I'm going to be using this in that ice drifting video. So you're going to want to see this in action kind of outside of what they're normally used for. Now you get this sweet little overlay here, and it's hard. Here, if I go over my shirt, you can see it a little better. So over here, it tells you the direction you're heading, and it'll tell you your speed, your actual GPS speed. So if your speedometer is wrong, this will tell you better. If you want to use it as a mirror still, you can push this little button on the bottom and it'll turn the screen off, and then it works as a regular rear view mirror. So I know this has been a huge video just talking about all of the features of this camera. I'm actually really excited to try this out. I was super excited when they reached out and asked me if I wanted to review this. So I want to do a proper in-car testing of this where I don't have all the setup to talk about. So we've already talked about what the camera is. We've talked about what it offers. We've talked about what it does. You understand the features and the functions. You've seen it. I can tell you that this is it's a heavy product. It's solid. It is very, very solid. It feels like a very high quality premium product. Even the tools that they send you are high quality premium feeling tools. So I have high hopes for the functionality of the product as well. So in future videos, we're gonna hook it up. I'll show you setting it up and putting it in place and getting all of the functions set exactly right, doing the calibrations, and then we'll take it on a road trip and we'll try it out and see how well it works. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.